That's what I've been in ministry now 50 years. It'll be 50 years this year. That's a long time to last. I think that should be a testimony by itself.
It is. In fact, that's my next question. You have been following Christ for decades. As you reflect back on those years, are there any regrets that you have?
Absolutely. I'm a human being. I've made mistakes. I remember Paul telling me he made mistakes by the truckloads. We all make mistakes. The two things I regret most in ministry: I was not too wise a number of times with prophecy. Number one, I had guests come to the Crusades that I think brought harm to not only people's lives, but also to my reputation, because their prophecies were not really prophecy. They went outside the borders of redemption, because anything that's outside redemption is not prophecy. We know, of course, that prophecy is for edification, exhortation, and comfort, but it must be within redemption. And when people come who go beyond that, we should not allow that. And sadly, I allowed it, and then I stopped. But that was years ago when I stopped. And then there were times when I thought God had showed me something that He wasn't showing me, and I spoke it out. But in 1 Corinthians 13, we see very clearly that we all prophesy in part. That means we don't see the full picture. And sadly, and I wish I can go back and fix it, but sadly, there were some prophecies I gave that were not accurate or from the Lord. But who's perfect? And for that, of course, I ask people to forgive me. I'm just human and made mistakes like that. And I'll probably make them again, I suppose, down the road, because I'm not perfect. We will be perfect one day when we're with the Lord. As long as we're in this body that's imperfect, we're not going to make perfect decisions and even say the things we need to say or should say. But, you know, it's sad when people focus on the times you missed it. But that's just, you know, the way it is. Yet there were times when I did not miss it. And then the other one is prosperity. And that's been a very difficult one for me. When I started in ministry, it was simple. And then the ministry grew. I was invited to go to what they call praise-a-thons. And I think that's when my troubles began. I don't blame anyone. But sadly, you get kind of in a place that becomes difficult. You don't know what to do and how to get out of it. So I came to the conclusion in 2019 that I did not want to be a part of the gimmickry of it. And I still stand by that. But sadly, I let pressure get to me. And because of that pressure, I said things and did things I should not have done. And for that, really, I am sorry. And I ask the dear people watching us to really forgive me for that. And I'm striving with all my heart to be as biblical as possible with that. And frankly, you know, I'm kind of at the end of my road anyways. I don't see myself needing to do a whole lot of that down the road. But right now, my focus is the Lord, and only the Lord. And if, of course, there will be the time when I may have to raise funds for our ministry, I will do it as biblically as I know how and balanced.
Can you explain that a little more?
I want that teaching to be about Jesus and only Jesus and the gospel, because the heart of prosperity has to be the gospel, true biblical prosperity. And that is what I will do and strive to do for the rest of my life. That's it.
Now, getting back